From semis getting clipped to semis getting flipped, if you like semi-truck collisions, you'll love this episode. All that and more is coming up, so strap in. Steven was on his way to work and waiting for a traffic light when the driver of a Camaro misjudged the distance of an oncoming semi-truck, turning across its path before being T-boned.
Oh.
After slamming into the Camaro and spinning it around, the semi-truck tipped completely onto its side before sliding to a stop just out of the frame of Steven's dash cam. He immediately ran to help the involved drivers. Less than 2 minutes later, a Romeoville police officer arrived on the scene. After verifying that nobody had been seriously injured, Steven provided the officer with a copy of his dashcam footage. Steven told us the cop was grateful not only for his footage but also for his help. He told Steven he wished more people would stop and help after witnessing collisions. Steven also wanted to remind our viewers to make sure your dashcam is working before you start driving. He was involved in a collision last year that wasn't recorded because he'd left his dashcam unplugged. Sid Ray was on her way home from work when the driver of a pickup truck behind her suddenly rear-ended her Subaru Outback at highway speed. Sid Ray told us she stood on her brakes to avoid colliding with the pickup ahead of her, but she still ended up bumping it slightly. All three drivers pulled over to assess damage, but the driver ahead of Sid Ray couldn't find any and left. At the time, Sid Ray turned down any medical response, but she told us she woke up the next day regretting that decision as she had severe pain in her neck, back, and shoulder. She's now receiving physical therapy for her injuries. Sadly, her brand new Subaru was totaled by the collision, which was devastating. She told us she plans to replace it with another Subaru once the pickup driver's insurance provider pays her a settlement for the last one. Jason and Jenny were taking their son to school before work when they noticed the driver ahead of them leave the road before nearly wiping out in the median. After watching the other driver manage to get back on the road, Jason and Jenny called 911 and reported what they'd seen. Within a few minutes, multiple patrol vehicles arrived on the scene before pulling the car over. Jason and Jenny made their dashcam footage available to the police, but they don't know what ended up happening to the other driver. Hopefully, the reason for her poor driving was discovered and dealt with appropriately. They also told us they appreciate not having to pause our videos to read on-screen text or having to listen to AI-generated narration. Thanks, you two. It's true. We don't use AI to generate any content on Wham Bam Dashcam, Tesla Cam, or Security Cam. If you also appreciate the fact that I'm a real person recording my real voice for every video, be sure to subscribe. This subscriber sent us footage of his Ford F-350 rear-ending a Hummer H3, whose driver had come almost to a stop while waiting for another driver to turn. Our subscriber didn't tell us who was driving his Ford F-350, but he did say that the driver was playing with his cell phone, not paying attention to the road. He also said the pickup was going about 60 miles per hour at the time of the impact. Thankfully, nobody involved was seriously injured, although the pickup driver did experience some whiplash. Both vehicles involved had to be towed away after the wreck. Larry was headed north on I-75 when he passed a white SUV in the exit lane without thinking much about it. When a black sedan flew past him in the passing lane, they both found out that the SUV was actually an unmarked cop car. After the driver of the white SUV activated the party lights, the driver of the black car pulled over to accept their helping of instant justice. By the way, this isn't the first time Larry has captured instant justice on his dashcam. A few weeks ago, we featured his video of a police officer chasing down a red light runner. If you missed it, we'll put a link to that episode at the end of this one. Jeff captured one of the most insane close calls we've ever featured. Watch what happened when traffic in the left lane abruptly stopped, leaving a semi-truck with nowhere to go. As the trucker swerved around the stopped traffic to avoid a rear-end collision, Jeff slammed on his brakes, giving the truck just enough room to avoid getting sideswiped. As far as Jeff can tell, the only collision appeared to be the Jeep SUV that collided with the median barrier. Neither the semi-truck nor Jeff's Chevy Malibu sustained damage, but their pants might not have been so fortunate. Andon was driving his Ram 1500 when he watched the red car ahead of him make a left turn across traffic before colliding with an oncoming car with the right-of-way. Andon stopped and took this photo of the aftermath, and he told us that the responding police officers found the driver of the red car responsible for the collision after he provided them with his dashcam footage. Family Cruisin' is back with another submission. This time, his son somehow managed to upset the driver of a Mazda SUV, prompting her to angrily throw a bottle of something, lotion perhaps, at the hood of his Lincoln Town Car. We watched all the footage leading up to this attack, and as far as we can tell, the first time these two drivers interacted at all was when Family Cruisin's son safely and legally merged in front of the Mazda to exit a highway. Apparently, this was enough to set off the Mazda driver. She then brake-checked him multiple times before they parted ways, but the story doesn't end there. In fact, this one has a very satisfying ending. Family Cruisin' reported the incident to the police, and they used the Mazda's plate number to track down the driver before arresting her. She was employed by a car dealership, and she was handcuffed in the middle of the showroom. Mario was driving on a Florida highway when traffic in the passing lane came to a sudden stop. The driver of the Nissan Altima behind Mario stopped safely, but another driver several vehicles behind him did not. In the end, at least 4 vehicles ended up being involved, as far as we can tell anyway. The Hyundai driver's insurance provider ended up paying to fix Mario's Toyota Corolla, as well as a rental car for him to drive while repairs were being completed. Incredibly, nobody involved was seriously hurt. Alicia was passing a semi-truck on a Massachusetts highway when the trucker nearly pushed her off the road and into the guardrail. Eagle-eyed viewers will notice that the semi's turn signal was on prior to the lane change, but a turn signal does not give another driver the right-of-way. Even so, do you think Alicia should have waited instead of attempting this pass? She told us she installed her dashcam after her last car was totaled a few months earlier. If you need a dashcam for your ride, you'll find links to the models the Wham Bam team uses in our own vehicles in the video description. This subscriber captured a Tesla behaving badly when the driver of a brand new Model Y ran a red light right in front of him before colliding with a Lexus.
That Tesla man can't drive. That Tesla man can't drive.
After the Tesla wrecked into the Lexus and totaled both vehicles, our subscriber provided his dashcam footage to the responding police officers. This subscriber, who wanted us to call her Kind Karen, was riding shotgun with her husband Michael driving. As they entered a parking lot, they spotted a police officer wrestling with a woman who was dropping merchandise. While they watched the mayhem, an accomplice in a pickup truck suddenly drove up. When the woman broke free, she ran and jumped in the pickup before it sped away. Kind Karen wanted us to know that they bought their dashcam and those of their 2 other vehicles based on our recommendation. Its incredible picture quality allowed them to provide the officer with the pickup's plate number. This subscriber was turning into his neighborhood when a minivan driver suddenly T-boned his beloved Jeep Wrangler. The minivan driver was extremely apologetic, and our subscriber noted that a bitterly crying child was sitting in the back seat. While the minivan had to be towed away, his Jeep continued driving for another week. Sadly, in the end, it was still totaled by the insurance company due to extensive damage that wasn't immediately visible. Thankfully, he's been able to replace it with a nearly identical Jeep, which he absolutely loves. This subscriber was on her way to Jacksonville with her brother when a Ford Explorer suddenly invaded her lane. Our subscriber slammed the brakes and swerved, nearly losing control while dodging the incoming SUV. Thankfully, an SUV driver in the exit lane also noticed what was happening and made just enough room to avoid any collision. In spite of the scary situation, our subscriber was able to recover before continuing on her trip. Toad was on his way home after an Independence Day parade and was headed through a toll station when the driver of a black Mazda changed his mind about which lane he wanted to be in. When Toad realized the Mazda was headed his way, he decided that getting sideswiped would cause less damage to his Ford Ranger than colliding with the median barrier. Thankfully, the Mazda driver immediately admitted fault. Both vehicles remained drivable, and the Mazda driver's insurance provider accepted responsibility. They're now paying an estimated $7,000 to repair his pickup truck. Aisman had just gotten into a left turn lane when he encountered a pair of headlights coming toward him in his own lane. Aisman thinks the SUV driver must have gotten confused in the rush hour chaos and ended up on the wrong side of the traffic island separating directions of travel. Thankfully, they were able to quickly correct their mistake. Brandon is a truck driver who was hauling a smoothbore tanker down a Nebraska highway when a pickup driver failed to yield as he merged into Brandon's lane. Brandon told us the pickup driver was aggressive toward him after they both stopped. When police arrived, he was aggressive toward them as well. In the end, the pickup driver was cited for failing to yield and for driving without insurance. Brandon told us that he sees things like this happen all the time while driving his truck, but he usually isn't able to save his footage. If you own a dash cam, make sure you know how to lock the current video. This will keep it from being overwritten when your storage fills up, and you can retrieve the footage days or even weeks later. Alex was headed back to work after lunch when he encountered an oncoming driver passing a bus on a blind curve. Alex swerved, somehow managing to thread the needle between the oncoming overtaker and the guardrail. He told us he reported the reckless driver to the police, but so far nothing has been done. He also told us he regrets getting such a cheap dash cam. If the video he captured had been more detailed, the police might have been able to identify the other driver. Ken watched the driver of a black SUV turn across traffic.
Watch the video.
And immediately regret their decision after getting T-boned by a pickup truck. When Ken showed responding police officers his dashcam footage, they cited the SUV driver for causing the collision by failing to yield. He also sent a copy of this video to the pickup driver for his insurance claim. Thankfully, nobody involved was seriously injured. Cassius was parked in front of a grocery store when he watched a lazy shopper fail to put his shopping cart away, giving the cart demon a perfect opportunity to strike. Phew, that was a close one. Where are the cart narcs when you need them? Thankfully, Cassius's father was able to retrieve and secure the cart, preventing any further cart demon attacks. If you need more cart demon videos, we made a special spooky episode of nothing but cart demon attacks, so check it out. Or watch Larry's previous instant justice submission in this episode. Don't forget to subscribe before you make your choice, and we'll see you with more videos next week.
Wham, bam, we got a Patreon man. Please support the show.